What if the maps you thought were just lines and navigation were actually telling a secret story? Welcome to the Survival Historian, where we uncover not just how humans survived history, but how they made sense of it. Ancient maps aren't merely routes drawn by cautious hands. They're cryptic documents packed with forgotten knowledge and hidden messages. Today we're seeing the world's earliest charts not as navigation tools, but as historical time capsules waiting to be decoded. Let's find out what secrets have been hiding in plain sight for centuries. When you examine a medieval world map, a mappae mundi, you're not looking at geography. You're looking at belief made visible. These weren't attempts to accurately chart the world as it was. They charted the world as people understood it to be. The Hereford Mappa Mundi, created around 1300, placed Jerusalem at its center, not for geographic accuracy, but spiritual significance. This was deliberate theology rendered in ink and gold leaf, functioning as a visual sermon that reinforced church authority. The ancient Babylonian map of the world did something similar, placing Babylon at the center of concentric circles representing cosmic order. But these maps performed political work too. When European powers commissioned maps showing their territories in bold colors stretching across continents, those maps became instruments of propaganda. They transformed claims into cartographic fact, making power seem natural and inevitable. The map of the British Isles that ignored indigenous peoples and showed only neat English shires didn't just describe power, it justified it. To decode ancient maps, you must learn their symbolic language. Elaborate cartouches, the ornate frames surrounding titles, weren't mere decoration. They communicated hierarchy and importance. The imagery within them told stories about the wider world. Sea monsters, indigenous peoples, ships, and mythological figures created a visual vocabulary of power and exoticism. The placement of monsters and mythical creatures reveals how cartographers understood the boundaries between known and unknown. You know, "Here be dragons" wasn't just cautionary, it actually marked the border between the ordered, civilized space that had been mapped and the chaotic, dangerous periphery. These creatures communicated danger and wonder simultaneously, representing where knowledge ended and imagination began. On the Hereford Mappa Mundi, you'll encounter people with faces in their chests, dog-headed warriors, and entire nations of mythical beings. Rather than fantasy or ignorance, these filled gaps between known and unknown, blending genuine geographic knowledge with classical legends and travelers' tales. They represented the boundary where knowledge became imagination, and in the medieval world that line was, well, quite porous. The Piri Reis map, created by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis in 1513, still astonishes historians. It depicts coastlines Reis himself had sailed, but also features suggesting knowledge of previously unknown territories. Whether representing actual exploration or educated extrapolation, it becomes a historical document asking questions we still cannot fully answer, revealing expeditions undertaken and knowledge accumulated by seafarers whose names we'll never know. Framaro's world map, created in Venice in 1459, represents another revelation. This enormous map synthesized knowledge from trade routes, merchant reports, and contemporary exploration. Thousands of notations describing cities, trade goods, and distances represent the lived experience of explorers trying to understand an expanding world. These maps reveal their makers weren't neutral technicians but interpreters, making deliberate choices about what to emphasize, suppress, or highlight. Their dedications expose men who spent years capturing the essence of geography itself, a living camera through which civilization could view itself before photography existed. Ancient maps capture far more than geography. They preserve snapshots of lost ecosystems, forgotten trade networks, and vanished understanding. By studying city positions, resource markings, and emphasized routes, we reconstruct the economic lifeblood of ancient civilizations. Medieval Portolan charts, designed for sea navigation, reveal the trade networks that sustained European commerce. With careful notations of dangerous straits and those emphasized ports marked in red ink, these maps really outline the invisible networks of commerce and culture. By following these charts, we can trace spice routes and recognize which cities held genuine power. Maps also serve as geological records. When we compare ancient and modern maps of the same region, we see how rivers shifted courses, coastlines changed due to sedimentation, and the earth itself was reshaped by natural forces. A medieval river shown where no river flows today, well, that becomes evidence of environmental change across centuries. These documents reveal social structures as well. The emphasis on certain cities, depictions of fortifications, and notations of religious and administrative centers, all of these reveal how ancient societies organize themselves spatially and hierarchically. Maps are, in a sense, blueprints of belief systems, showing what people truly valued. We stand at a remarkable moment in cartographic history. Advanced digital imaging reveals details hidden beneath centuries of aging. Multispectral imaging illuminates faded text, erased annotations, and corrections cartographers themselves made. Artificial intelligence identifies patterns human eyes might miss, connections between symbols and hidden networks of meaning. These technologies aren't diminishing ancient maps' importance, they're actually deepening it. New discoveries keep emerging from maps we thought we understood completely. Hidden layers reveal the obsessions and knowledge systems of long-dead cartographers. These aren't just artifacts anymore. They're living documents actively generating insights into our shared past. Ancient and medieval cartographers attempted something we, take for granted today, seeing the whole world at once. With limited tools, incomplete information, and worldviews shaped by religious belief, they created something truly remarkable. Their geographies were distorted, measurements imprecise, mythologies intermingled with reality. Yet in these failures lies profound success. They captured how humans understood their world, what they feared, what they valued, and what lay beyond knowledge's edges. When you survive in wilderness or study human endurance, you're navigating with incomplete information, making decisions with what you know and imagine. Ancient cartographers did the same, creating documents that guide us toward understanding ourselves and our history. Like, share, and subscribe to The Survival Historian for more deep dives into history's hidden layers. The best maps are the ones we haven't fully deciphered yet. Let's continue the journey together.